collectors and Transformer fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the absolutely incredible support of all of my Optibotimus Plus channel members, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Kingdom Deluxe Class tracks. Or more specifically, Autobot tracks, because I guess they just can't call them tracks. But for the packaging, much like all the Kingdom figures, you got that gorgeous art here in the front with him in his vehicle and his robot mode. You got the lava, the fire, all that going around. Then you have the Transformers text with the Generation logo. The little teeny tiny window that shows the figure right there. Come around to the side, of course, you got that Kingdom logo. And then the back shows that he transforms in 21 steps. Then you got images of him in his robot and vehicle mode. And then, of course, his one-time used flying mode that we saw in the cartoon. It's always a fun little nod right there. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have the new Transformers Kingdom tracks opened up out of his packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. And starting off first, much like all these Kingdom figures, you do get this nice collector card. This one, I want to say this is a new one. You can see you have Megatron right there. Of course, you got the holographic sort of look. Really very nice. You open it and it's Galvatron. It's the evil Galvatron. And you can see the Matrix of Leadership there as well. So there you go, the collector card. As for the figure, this one is a bit of a mixed bag for me. The overall look of him in his vehicle mode, I am quite happy with. It does a really nice job of homaging that Corvette look that he had in the original G1 days. But he is kind of plain, honestly. You got the Autobot logo, you got the flame sort of thing right there, which looks good, but it would look better if there was more kind of on there. You can see he does have weapon storage. It just plugs here onto the back. He does come with his blaster as well as this little shoulder cannon things. I'll show you how to play with those in a bit. But vehicle mod, it's just fairly plain, honestly. You got some nice silver rims right in there, black tires. You got some black bits right there. Just not, I don't know. It does a great job, but it's kind of lackluster, I think, honestly. The color of the blue looks really nice. You can see that he does have a translucent blue window. It's kind of hard to tell. But for comparison, here he is with my Takara Reveal the Shield one. I like this one a whole lot more because of the metallic color on it, although I did notice that there is some rub right there, which is kind of annoying. And then I also did discover that one of his little shoulder cannon things, the snap broke. So I had to buy some new ones for that. But I do like how this one looks. Now, this is where you're seeing a real huge size difference here. This was a deluxe back during the Reveal the Shield days. That's when this originally came out. And I don't remember how long ago that was. But you can see there is a big size difference going on here. Just over. I mean, this guy was pretty chunky just in general. But, I mean, overall, there's considerable differences. I mean, and granted, this was a Takara one, so a lot more painted detail on there, like with the headlights and taillights and things like that. So it's not really a super fair comparison, but like I said, I don't know. I just feel like he's a little bit lacking. He rolls perfectly fine. You can put different weapons on there. I mean, you don't have to have just that thing on there, but it's kind of pointless because that kind of sits on a little bit of an angle, but you're still going to have him shooting the roof, so it is what it is. Now, he does have his flying car mode. As I said, that was something that we saw in one scene, and it is, I mean, you can see a little bit of gapping right there. I can't ever get that, and that's part of the problem that I have with this figure in general. The legs, which these will become, are a giant pain in the butt. We'll get to that here in a bit, but you can do the flying car mode. So first we're going to pull these wings down and out like that. You can rotate this around and you can see that you have his little fin things here. These bits here get in there really tight. You have to really pull that out and get this whole thing down and then bring this up, and then I just completely dislodge that, put that right back there. So pull that up, then fold that down and rotate that around So we can do that outside side. We're going to pull that away. There we go. Just get that out of there. And then rotate this up. Be careful of this. Now, this is going to be something I'm going to talk about. This entire top section is clear plastic. And a lot of people talk about their concerns over that and how sturdy it will be. It's definitely something I'm concerned over time, I suppose. Mostly because there seems to be some just tolerance issues. But, yeah, see, like that. This doesn't, when you pull that out, that kind of loosens everything up here, and you can start seeing that that's just like not staying where it needs to. So you have that. And then you can obviously take this, plug that in there. You can plug that on the top if you want. And you have his flying car mode, which, like I said, he used it one time. So, I mean, it's cool that they included it. It's definitely a characteristic of Trax. I mean, all Trax figures, as far as I'm aware of, even this dude, they all had that flying car mode. It's just something that is iconic to the character, and in general, you need to kind of have it. Now, I want to bring in, I know I have them here somewhere. I'm not one of those kind of people that shows this off a lot, but you got little holes here so that you can plug these in here. That's kind of cool. You have little thrust effects kind of going in there, and you know, plug it in the middle hole. That's kind of neat, you know, so you can do different things like that with those little blast effects if you still have those. But there he is. You know, it is what it is. Now, transformation to his robot mode, you're already kind of partly there. So just take these. I'm going to tuck those around. I'm going to take this off too. Just makes it a little bit easier. Get these arms kind of out of the way. Again, I don't like this, but right up in here, you kind of have to pull this away and kind of lift that over this little flap. Then you literally have to just, I feel like I'm going to break it every time. I don't like the transformation on this guy. Let's just put it that way. So you're literally just kind of pulling everything apart. These bits here tab under. And because this is clear plastic, that's where you're, or at least me personally, I'm feeling like it's, there we go, not a easy, fluid movement. And you can see that popped out here and put that right back. That just is going to dingle right there. Come down here to these legs. And the legs I'm not a big fan of either. We're going to open these bits up like so. And then rotate this. Straighten these feet and rotate this around. Oh, did that stay? Yeah. So you're going to rotate that around, and then as you do that, you're going to straighten that out, and then you can bring that whole thing around like so, and then get that foot in the right position. Sorry, you don't want to have it like that. You want to have it like that. So there's that, and then you have this little tab that's going to lock on the inside of the shin piece, but it's a fairly shallow tab, so it doesn't stand very well. And then this, you have a little tiny nub that sits there. That's going to lock in on the inside of the thigh or the outer leg. It doesn't really sit there. It just kind of subtly sits. So if you just kind of sit it there, then it's fine. But once you try moving things around, it's just going to completely dislodge. That's not good. So again, we're going to open this, rotate this, and then extend that leg down. Rotate this. Oh, did I do that reverse? I think I did that reverse, yeah. So rotate that around that way, and then extend that. And then you can bring that all the way down. Hinge that down like that. Lock that into place, and then just sit that there. Then you're going to take this entire lower section, rotate that all the way around, and yeah, I have more problems with this guy. This little chest piece here, you're going to want to push this as far forward as you can, and then collapse all this down. So this accordions, and this will go all the way down, lock into place, keep that chest protruding a little bit more. This piece right here, you're going to rotate that around, take this, Again, you got clear plastic that you literally are just kind of pulling to get the clearance for it. And again, I don't like it. Pull this down, and then that will reveal a little tab here that's going to lock into the back of his spine. Just kind of get that positioned, collapse it in, and I always tend to push the chest in, but you want to have that protrude just a little bit. Rotate these hands out. Do that on this side as well. And you're just going to kind of angle these wings, pushing that in. These legs suck. Angle that. To complete the look, you can leave it here in the back like that, or you can have it more forward, which technically he should have it more forward like that. So put that in there. Why are you not that, like, doesn't, what is happening? Does that actually lock in there? It should. Oh, there we go. Just give that a good solid push. When you're done, there you have Trax in his robot mode. Again, looks-wise, does a pretty decent job. There are some aesthetic choices that I'm not a big fan of. But there's also some, for me, QC issues that I'm not a giant fan of. But there you go. And while for the most part the transformation is fairly easy, it does get a little bit tricky in some spots. Regardless, though, it results in a robot mode that looks really very nice. But I do feel like, for the most part, this figure just doesn't live up to my personal expectations. He looks good, don't get me wrong. I mean, the look of him is absolutely what Trax should have. You know, the color is great. I mean, you got the wings. I mean, it's Trax after all. I mean, he's super stylistic, and that's what he really kind of exudes even here. It's just some of the design choices and QC that I have on my personal copy. Now, hopefully, the QC stuff is not something that you have to worry too much about. And I could probably fix it, because these legs are literally just held on by a mushroom cap in there. You can kind of see it there. Is that a mushroom cap? Yeah, it kind of looks like a mushroom cap. So I could probably put some floor polish there and tighten that up. That'll make it a much more stable figure. But I don't like these bits here. Like I said, you got that little tiny section that sticks out, and that just, it doesn't stay in there. I mean, it loosely sits there. So if you move these legs, you're going to be pulling this out quite often. And did that completely detach? I don't know. I just don't like the stability of these side panels. Also, they've been doing really good with the feet. That's just ugly. I mean, the gap is, I mean, when you look at it from there, no problem, right? But when you look at it from, like, the front, that just looks bad. How could they have done that differently? I have no idea, but I'm just not a big fan of it. Rest of the figure, though, looks really good. He does have this big junk honking backpack, which, again, fairly accurate to the overall look of the character. Bringing in the previous version that I have, you can see, I mean, like, and his wobbly legs, it's difficult to get him to stand. But you can see that they all kind of had a big backpack. I also am noticing now with the bright lights that I am having some yellowing on here. So I'm going to have to do my little whitening trick on this guy. But there's a big difference here, again, even in the robot mode. I mean, this is like regular Thor, and this is Bro Thor, where he gets really chunky. And of course, I can't put the little clips on there. I mean, I have one that I can put there, but the other one, I haven't gotten it back yet in the mail. So you can see a large difference, using the word large liberally. Overall, though, I mean, I do really like the way that he looks. It's just some of the design choices, like with the side panels here and the feet, keep him from being a really great looking figure. From the waist up, I think he looks phenomenal. Head sculpt wise, I think is great. If I zoom in so you can see that again, I mean, that is Trax. I mean, he has a absolutely fantastic look to him. You got the white helmet with the red face, blue eyes, gorgeous Autobot logo there. I think that turned out really very nice. The blue color looks good. All the white and everything. I'm apparently going to have to be careful of the white because I'm not good at keeping it white. I like how they got the little yellow bits and red paint on the forearm. I mean, that is how it should be. I mean, like, he didn't even have that. So, you know, just in general, I mean, he's a good-looking toy. And I like the way that the wings look a lot better, too. I mean, they're there. This, I mean, you had, like, the door panels here, so it's like the wings were kind of tiny. So, I don't know, I always thought that this mold worked better for Run Amok and Runabout, I suppose. And that was a Collector Club exclusive, if I remember right. But in general, good-looking figure. I just, like I said, I think that there could have been some things that were done differently. Articulation-wise, the head is on a bit of a ball joint, but there is some restrictions in the side bits here, so you kind of don't get a full range of motion with it. But decent range of motion. The shoulders move forward and back. They hinge in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the bicep. You have a bend here at the elbow. You do get this really huge hole going through there. I mean, that's also kind of, like I said, it just feels like they didn't put as much love into this one as some of the other, like, Kingdom or Studio Series figures, I guess, that are kind of homaging these original vintage G1 characters. You do have a waist swivel. You have the hinge here, forward and back, in and out. You do have a rotation at the upper part of the thigh. Touching the legs just makes everything kind of fall apart. You do have a bend there. You do have ankles that do move forward and back, and they also can tilt, so you can make that even look worse if you want to. But yeah, you know, this is one of the later sort of waves for the Transformers Kingdom line, and they've done pretty good up to this point. So I guess I should give them some slack. It just doesn't seem like they're really good at doing Trax figures. It's like, even the Masterpiece one was kind of a weird looking one, and then you go back, and this was previously what I thought was the best one, and this one definitely still looked good, but there were still some things about this that I wish were done differently. So, I don't know, maybe one day we'll get a better version of Trax, but for this new Kingdom one, there you go. Now, first transformation, again, I say this every now and then, but sometimes the transformation is easier going one way than the other. And that's definitely the case when going to his robot mode. It is an easier transformation. Going to his vehicle mode can be a little bit more annoying. First, what we're going to do is tuck his hands in, just like so. You can remove the little shoulder cannon piece, set that off to the side. Come around here to the back section, kind of straighten out his head. You're going to pull this away and then rotate that all the way around. Then this piece comes back up, and again, I don't really like this. It's kind of like you're, again, stretching things out to get that to pop into place. I don't like it. Like I said, this entire top section is clear plastic, and it just feels like you're pulling things to get things to slide in. So it doesn't have a very fluid feel, which that just annoys me. Just kind of leave that just like that. It's going to come around and cover his head eventually. Come around here to the torso, pull this apart, extend that all the way down, and then take the entire chest piece and push that all the way down. We're going to rotate here at the waist, and then again, these legs, not a big fan of this. That kind of rotate this around, and then at the same time, make sure you open that first. So when that's open, you're going to rotate that, and then you're going to collapse that down and in. And I never can remember the proper rotation. There we go. So get that like that. It's a little bit, like I said, a little bit tricky to do, but more annoying than anything. Take that piece, tuck that down, and then open that side up and do the same thing. Kind of collapse and rotate this back at the same time, so that collapse. I'll keep that out of the way. Okay, yeah, see, maybe go like that, and hinge this piece up. There we go, and then just bring the two halves together, and then straighten this out. These little bits here, you're going to put kind of on a little bit of an angle, just like that. And again, or maybe it's going to go like that. Again, these little pieces here don't really lock in. The tabs for these are even smaller. Well, no, they're about the same size, but they don't really do anything. They just kind of sit there. It's not terrible. I did see another review that had them like really kind of hanging out, which is definitely problematic, but it is what it is. Then you take this, bring this around like so. Now, I really don't like this piece at all. You kind of have to fit the little jigsaw section in. And again, you're kind of just forcing everything to get where it needs to go. And then you come around to here, and this, you kind of have to just fold that up and over. But again, it's clear plastic, so over time I just don't feel it's gonna last for very long. Take these wings, we're going to rotate this, get this all collapsed down, then fold this down like that, keep that, rotate that around, rotate this up, that will lock into place, and then you can push the wing up there as well. So again, fold this down, rotate that around so the blue section is on the outside. Bring this up, put that in, fold that in like that. If you really want to, you can put the weapons up on there. I'm not going to waste my time with it. But see, I mean, and again, you have this, so it kind of, I mean, the gapping's not bad, but it's definitely there. But when you're done, there you have Trax back in his vehicle mode. Ultimately, though, many of you know that I review my Transformers based on 3 things. How I like the vehicle mode, how I like the transformation, and how I like the robot mode. And so if you're looking at, in terms of stars, each one is a star. I would probably give this 2 stars, which is a little bit above average, I would say. Just for me, the worst part about it would be the transformation. I'm not a really big fan of it. I mostly because of the plastic on here. I just don't like that material. Vehicle mode wise, I think looks really good. It has that very Corvette sort of look that Trax had. It is a little bit more stylized and everything, so it is cool. Robot mode I think looks good. Part of the problem, I'm not going to knock too much off of it because I'm hoping that it is just my version. But the QC, especially like with the hips, with the legs just being floppy, that's kind of annoying. But the way that these are definitely seems to be a design choice that isn't very solid. Plus the fact that his feet just look like they're floating there. Half of it looks pretty good. So realistically, I shouldn't say that I'm going to give it 2 stars. I'm probably going to give them about 2.5 stars. Because the robot mode is half good. From the waist up, perfectly fine. But, I mean, in general, I still do like the figure and do recommend him. I will be replacing that original classic, or Reveal the Shield one with this guy. Because despite the flaws that he does have, he still has a much better representation to the character than anything really that we've gotten before in a mainline Transformer release. So, all that being said, if this is a figure that you would like to add to your collection, he is hitting various retail locations right now, so good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can do the really easy thing and just go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store or Amazon. For both of those places, I'll put links right down in the video description, where you can go there and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, I want to send a huge thank you to all of my Optibotimus Plus channel members, who through their direct support, now more than ever, help to make reviews like this possible. And if you'd like to help support my channel by becoming a channel member, where you can get exclusive channel chat and comment emojis, loyalty badges, early access to video reviews, unboxing videos, live streams, Zoom calls, the occasional giveaway, as well as access to the Optibotimus Plus only Discord, then please consider becoming a member of Optibotimus Plus. And for that, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. And finally, guys, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.